Okay, has anybody ever had a dream of becoming the best at something? Maybe even the best at creating video games in general? Maybe that kind of is the underlying message of kind of why you do anything you do. That's all I'm gonna start off with because I realized that I created the thumbnail and it's like, okay, for sure, I'm feeling you. I'm not gonna watch this entire video, but I'll just get you for the message that you're preaching right now, I guess. But no, but seriously, I mean, we could stay on this topic for like ever. So, if this is a video that you're just gonna chill to for the most part, then I would say, yeah, that's a cool thing to do. But for the most of it, this is a thought process that I would go through all the time. Like, basically, yeah, like, if I'm watching a review of, say, for instance, like, an old Sonic game or whatever the heck goes on, I'm more interested in the mythos behind it than its overall quality and success, as that makes sense. Like, because when everything is talked about, in reviews, and it's kind of like this myth in a sense. Like, this video game took place in the past, and it did some record numbers, and it was the first in its genre. It did this awesome stuff, and it was super cool. And you really get into that story, and yeah, of course, you believe every second of that story being told to you. And especially because a lot of stuff would be recorded, you're not really going to look too deep into it. But would it be a shocker that, yeah, there's more to the romance that you see on the surface? Like, specifically talking about the idea in which, yeah, a lot of the stuff that happens for the creation of, brands and marketing and all that stuff, it's just a job for a lot of people. And not only is it just that in itself, that it's a normal-ass job, My freaking rings, man. But not only is it a normal job, it's just that not everything is as pure as it looks. I think this is only going to be a slight thing. I don't know the full information about it, but there was a period in, say, for instance, the Sonic community when, around the time that I'm not sure. I think it was like Sonic 06 releasing and stuff, and Sonic and the Secret Rings, and there was a whole lot of stuff that contributed to its quote-unquote downfall, but we don't want to constantly talk about that all the time. That's a dead beaten horse. But one of the biggest reasons for specifically why the freak was I entering into this room? The creator, Yuji Naka, left Sega is, I think, one of the biggest reasons because Sega was partaking in what is essentially creating, because they are a software company, creating software for pachinko machines, gambling machines. This is why Sonic has like a big kind of like connection with casino games and stuff like that, because at first it was Sega was a hardware company that created casino kind of games for soldiers and stuff like that. There's probably more to the story than what I'm telling, but the biggest thing about it is that, yeah, like, it was shady practice in its own self on what Sega was doing, because gambling is, illegal, especially if it's not done by someone who's curated by the government and all that jazz. But with that being the case, it's one of these things where, yeah, Sega was outright helping this company with its, abilities to get people to spend irregular amounts of money, and this was kind of what was going on, and this actually caused Sega to not focus too much on the development and hardware of a lot of their games at the time. Only until now, well, around Sonic, Mania releasing, and then Sonic Frontiers, it's the only time they're actually getting out of that trap. But still, it's funny, because, yeah, that's one of the reasons why he left, and he wanted to start his own thing, and it's kind of barely gaining any ground. I don't think it was as successful at all compared to Sonic, because Sonic is not just Yuji Naka, it's also the combination of, oh my god, and I can't even remember the other guy who was very much into, yeah, the character designer. I can't remember his name, but yeah, that was the person that was responsible for the character design of Sonic. But either way, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, like, we kind of mythologize Sonic and stuff, and we say, oh yeah, like a lot of our passion projects and even our characters most times are kind of inspired by that, I want to be as successful as Sonic the Hedgehog. But then you kind of realize the reality behind the situation is that, like, yeah, Sega was barely holding on. I mean, like, after their quote-unquote first viral hit with Sonic 1, they were kind of struggling to really make sure that they were staying as relevant as they could be. But I mean, like, that's just kind of what it is. But again, like, it's not even the point of trying to prove or disprove or whatever what happened with Sega and Sonic Team, because I like the way they make games now anyways. But it's basically the whole shtick that, like, yeah, there's more that lies under the surface of the success of most things, and I'm always kind of low-key interested by that. Call me, hey, Lois Lane, in a sense. Like, and that's kind of a little bit off topic, but it's just that inner dominant force in me that's kind of like interested in truth more than, you know, what I'm just presented outright. And I always have a curiosity and hunger for that, and I think everybody does. And maybe it gets kind of really crazy with conspiracy theories, you know, and stuff like that. But in all honesty, when it comes down to it and stuff, it's just interesting to uncover those little lies, because it's stuff that is real about the world but will ruin reputations. Like, think about it. Like, even when you're first born, your parents don't just outright tell you how you were born. A lot of the times they'll just say something crazy like, hey, the storks brought you, or something like that, because it's a reality that most kids should not really know about, or at least they shouldn't think about it. And so that's kind of the weird, if you look at it from on a global scale, it's one of those things in regards to brands keeping everything as friendly as possible, just so that, you know, they don't reach outright backlash from, you know, their people. And honestly, sometimes that's actually the mainstay of what exactly makes the money for a lot of franchises. Like, Nintendo's one of the biggest franchisees and IPs around, and one of the things that contributes to that is just overall how people think about their brands and stuff, you know? It's not 100% just their software, it's not 100% like their business and how it's modeled. It's really just strictly 100% the brands, because that dictates, you know, what is bought, like, based on its cuteness, its aesthetics and all that kind of stuff. And they're always kind of on edge about probably making a new game, because it sets a, you know, it toys around with the foundation that was already set by every other successful game. So if you're gonna make a sequel to something, it better be outright amazing, you know? So, like, yeah, it's one of those weird things on that. But yeah, that's like the basis of the conversation and stuff, and it's just like, you know, like, yeah, I could like literally coin it to everybody. Like, what's a lie that you've grown up believing in? And some people, and I was even honestly gonna get to this point where I was thinking about it, like, okay, like, if I think about the lie that people most believe in, and I was gonna separate it by gender, of course, like, that men believe all women are pure, and then for women, it's like, I think honestly, it's weird. It's like on one side, it's that every man is strong. Yeah, I'll just leave it to that every man is strong. And then, you know, you kind of get into the realism of it, and that everybody's a person underneath. Like, we're not all pretty, and we're not all, you know, strong at all. Like, a lot of us are weak a lot of the times, and then a lot of us have our ugliest moments. But we still, you know, put on a show, because, you know, it's just how you get around and stuff. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, that's just the gender talk of it, but if I go into the gender talk of it to explain these kind of things in regards to what the real truth behind a lot of stuff is around the world, then it's gonna get off topic, and it's gotta be all about Sonic Mania, because, god dang, I really would have liked the Sonic Mania 2. I kid you not. It would have been nice. It would have been amazing. It would have been great to get a Sonic Mania 2. It would have been, oh, you mother trucker. But hey, it is what it is. Like, I don't know. It just is what it is, you know? Oh god. Oh great. But yeah, but when it comes down to it, holy crap. Or you know what? I don't care. I'm going to turn into Supersonic because I don't want to lose all my rings. We're flying now. We are flying. We are base mode. It doesn't matter. We've done it before. It's just like, you know, Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3. Once you've unlocked it, that's your baseline. You're just gonna do it from the long time, and you're just gonna whip it out like it wasn't just a one-time wonder thing. But yeah, so I mean, because right here, what we have with Sonic Mania, it truly is amazing. But it's weird because technically, it took a bunch of suffering and a bunch of money, and we're not just talking about just what went into it. We're not just talking about literally, we're talking about the whole enchilada. We're talking about how long it took for Sega to even get to the point of this. We're talking about the fact that Sega was never going to get to this point, and literally the things that allowed for Sonic Mania to exist, if they just weren't placed in the right tones, we just wouldn't have seen it. And it's only because of the support of fans, and fans having an undying, love for the series and stuff, that we have it. It's just one of those weird things. I mean, like, for better or for worse, like, here's one of the weirdest ideas ever, that there's a possibility that the creators of Sonic Mania might not be rolling in dough. And the biggest financial, kind of like, I wanted to put it in a great spin. But basically, the people that are better financially benefiting from Sonic Mania's creation is just solely the company. And I mean, like, there are probably people that are getting paid very well, and hopefully royalties from what this is. And that's even a slippery slope in itself in the industry. Could you imagine just somebody actually getting paid off of something that you've made and you don't get a lick of that stuff? That's something that's totally possible, and that can go under the radar. Yeah, I know. Like, why would a company do that? But, people are people. So hopefully it's going correctly, and everybody is, benefiting from this project, because honestly, it's a wonder that we even have it at all. I kid you not. And that's weird, right? That's kind of one of the truths I think about the industry that I don't think we ever think about in reality. But that, it's a whole money game, but the systems that hold it together, it's not 100% perfect. And not only is it not 100% perfect, but at the same time, it's like, it's not a system that's governed by, the finest of laws and stuff, where people are absolutely getting the justice that they really actually deserve. It's kind of being held up by just people that are just creating a product and giving it the spit shine that it needs and stuff like that, and you can only hope to God that they're making the right choices. And you can dare say it's kind of like a situation of who watches the Watchmen. Because think about that weird idea that Sega is just as put together as like a system that you could create. Like a system that you create. Like, say for instance, the videos that I have right here on my channel. They're all kind of just ugly, right? But then you have this collection of videos that are a playthrough, and these playthrough videos, they're not really any different from, like, say for instance, when it comes down to it, all the other ugly videos. Holy shizus! Well, there's your first death. And I guess you could say the only thing that makes it really different is just the fact that it's curated and it's actually designed in such a way where it's organized by me, because I'm taking more of a business approach on this. But I guarantee you this, I'm not getting paid from any of this. I mean, that would be nice, I kid you not, but in all honesty, when it comes down to it, I am kind of governing a different YouTube channel that has more, kind of like timeless videos, if you want to call it so. Like, these videos are timeless in a sense, but they're definitely not videos that I'm idealizing in any sort of a way. These are sort of like weird thought bubble pieces where I can just talk about myself and kind of just spill out my thoughts and stuff like that. And it also gives me a chance to relax in between times when I'm working on my video as well. So that's really that in itself. So are these videos non-important, or are they important? It's a hard question to even answer in itself. Like, like one of the most important pieces of content and, and stuff like that are probably the ones with millions of views. But if you look at it on a different spectrum, honestly, the most important pieces of content are probably the ones that are most not important at all. They set the baseline, they set the stage, and they work at what exactly the most biggest videos, have been working at for years on years. So that's an interesting thing, I guess, to think about. I will literally go in introspective this the whole way through. All for the sake of making my thumbnail sound interesting. What the fudge? Can I? Okay, nothing there. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much that. So, I mean, as of now, what's going on here? I'm creating a Let's Play of Sonic Mania. Do I know exactly what I'm going to do after playing Sonic Mania? Not really. Not in particular. There's a possibility that I could just keep playing the same game, I'm not gonna lie. And, you know, all that good stuff and whatnot. But, you know, we'll see what it goes down. In all honesty, if you want to know how my brain is actually adequately thinking in regards to how these videos are being made, my thought process is that I'm just going to make these videos as similar as they can be, while also having different types of content in them. That's kind of the gist of it. And I mean, like, one video may do well, one might, but the most important part is that they're kind of like their own little series. It's a chance for me to actually bond with my audience and not care too much about, dare I say, YouTube analytics, because that's something I do heavily, and it does surprise me in this case scenario when I look at the first playthrough and I see that it's rated a number 1, a 1 out of 10 on my channel. But then again, if I think about it, there's not really that many awesome videos on this channel, and a lot of the videos have been privated over time and cooked in every sense of the word. So, you know, it's one of those kind of things in itself. Jeez, man, this whole place is starting to try to kill me. I really need that. Oh boy. Yeah, but yeah, so I mean, like, that's pretty much the goal. That's why I haven't stopped uploading, because yeah, oh my god, I hate that guy. But that's why I haven't stopped uploading, because honestly, I'm just kind of building an audience. That's really the most hallmark bulk of it. I don't even know why I got that. I literally have infinite lives. What the freak? But yeah. But that's pretty much the goal. Like, nobody's actually commented yet. Nobody's actually done anything. I'm moving the bar on my own, if you can call it such. So, you know, in all honesty, it could be a failure in some regard, but it depends on what you're defining as failure and what you're defining. I mean, yeah, of course, genuinely, like, everybody wants money. But it's also like, when you have that money, what are you gonna do with it, you know? What's the point that you're satisfied, that you can kind of create in comfort, you know? Because if you're constantly dying out of the result of trying to create your projects and stuff, that could be terrible, you know? That could be really bad. I mean, it's cool because art, you know? The art that exists and stuff like that, and honestly, people do like that. They like it when people suffer for their art. I kid you not, this is actually the truth of the matter. So, it's kind of a little unhealthy in some weird regard. Holy, hello, what do you want? God dang, man. Nah, I'm not gonna do this. We're going super, you guys. Just give me a second. I'm getting my thundering going. No, if we do that, then it's just not gonna, you know. Alright, let's do this. I don't think so, buddy. Yeah, I'm just turning supersonic for all the boss fights. Okay, I won't do it throughout the stage, but I will do it for boss fights. It's what honestly needs it. Alright, come on, come on. Yeah, alright, there you go. He's getting pummeled. Good. Come on, get jacked. Oh, what the? Did my supersonic form just run out? Surprisingly so, maybe, I guess. Oh, God. Well, you know, hooray for that, I guess. Alright, well, it looks like we've done it. We've completed it. We've challenged the unchallengeable. But, you know, we still got more. This is a long playthrough, but it will be, because, you know, it just is what it is. But yeah, so, I mean, you know, what do you think about those good thoughts? Those amateur thoughts? And also, I don't even know, does anybody here idealize me in regards to what I'm doing as of right now? Because I'm not really anything much. You see, I just died there. I'm not afraid to show my more, I guess, vulnerable sides, because I just died. But, seriously, like, because with YouTube, it's kind of like this weird thing where it's like, if somebody gets a large audience, gets people watching, and then it's kind of like a weird thing where you're looking at that person like, holy crap, they're better than me, you know? But then there's also just that reality check that, yes, everybody's a normal person, and, like, honestly, when you idealize somebody like that, you know, it's like, cool, you're doing that, but I think that you're now kind of trapping yourself in a weird sense because you believe yourself not to be capable of something that that person's capable of. People do this all the time. This is what I see most evidently when it comes to creating comics and stories. People don't believe themselves to be official enough to enact their sense of creating, a story. And they say that they want to do it, but they don't do it. It's not a part of their daily routine or activity. And it kind of makes me mad because I will look at that and I'll be like, well, I do that, all the time. I literally sold bunches of stuff. And I'm not saying that that's like the end goal with it. I'm just saying, like, hello. When it comes to just, what you want to be, it's like, do it. But here's where the rub comes in. The minute you actually become the very thing that you idolized, you are no longer idealizing it, and you never get that emotional kick from just thinking about yourself doing that thing. It becomes routine in the sense that it becomes boring. It becomes normal living, and no one wants to kind of live normally. The only people who do want to live normally are people who are satisfied with who they are. But you can imagine the whole reason why you're fantasizing about something in particular is because you find something to be kind of dull in your life. So when it comes down to it, if you want to do something, you gotta kind of stop idealizing it and kind of just view it for the reality that it is. It's the same thing with art, and it's the same thing with every single thing else. That's the reality of that, and I think that kind of lives up to the title in itself. Take a while to actually get to that point in itself, but that's what it is. Even with me being here, it's just simply me recording and talking to a wall in a weird sense, or I'm just straight up talking to my phone. That's normal. That's considered normal. But yeah, there's not much to it. You're making magic happen. This used to be amazing to me back in the day. I would watch playthroughs all the time. I would watch Let's Plays. The biggest reason why I would watch Let's Plays, I'm not gonna lie, is because of the social curing. I would cure myself socially at least to my satisfaction, because games are not fun to play on your own. They're fun to play with other people, And so with that even being the case in its own sense, Jesus Christ, they really wanted me to rush for that. Yeah, I'm an adult, and also too, I just don't have time for games unless in this situation where it's something that I'm doing for the sake of maybe in the future earning money. Do I hope to earn money through this? Maybe. It's a maybe. It'd be nice. I could probably sell some Sonic figures through my YouTube channel, or probably something Sonic Mania inspired. That's at least... Well, that sucked. That's at least something that I would like to do. But I'm pretty sure that a lot of the people who are bonding with, god damn it, my channel in a weird sense are probably kids. This is one of the biggest reasons why video games are not supposedly the most profitable in regards to AdSense revenue. But, it's something that I can possibly sell, but it's always a weird thing, because nowadays, being a YouTuber and talking to everyone, it's not the same as you being a, official, quote-unquote, co-star of some kind of reality hit TV show, And yeah, I was talking about that before, that's the problem. People don't see themselves as the aficionado of what they do. But it's also the same sense that a lot of people view the same way with, dare I say, YouTubers, because now you have the idea of a Minecraft YouTuber taking place. And what I mean by that is somebody who is really ill-willed intention and is quite literally coming after the less fortunate and sometimes more ignorant, and possibly, there are kids that honestly have no idea what they're doing. And it's a very slippery slope in regards to what people can do with the platform. It's a bastardization of what people can do with it, and there's a point where it's okay, at what point are you profiting, and at what point are you actually, taking advantage of? So that's the slippery slope that I'm constantly reminding myself about in regards to YouTube and stuff like that. Being looked at as an aficionado helps with it. It helps with that in regards to when I was selling comics and stuff. But if I'm being really honest with myself, I know that I'm not that PG. I know that I honestly, for the most part of it, don't really set too many, baselines for me to stick to in regards to the safety of my content in regards to it being viewed by kids. But at the same time, a lot of kids out there, they watch and they watch all the TikTok, all the Instagram, and all the dank memes, and they are quite literally witnessing, even at times, worse content in regards to morality than I am, especially than I was when I was young, you know? And it's not entirely impossible for kids to get their hands on stuff that's just ill-mannered and stuff. And I've been talking about this forever and stuff like that. Like on my other YouTube channel, reprehensible to the degree where, you know, that whole thing is like, it's literally, anime is as reprehensible as it gets. Like everything, every theme is in there. Drugs, pedophilia, all that crappy stuff, even like conspiracies, worldwide conspiracies, like going against the authority in the sense of government, the very government that quote-unquote is supposed to protect us and stuff. Like all these things are present within anime, but it subliminally throws these messages in there, and sometimes they're not even subliminal, they're literally just flat out put there just for you to view. But yet, it's weird. Anime is still one of those things that's seen as a collective, yeah, we're all just gonna like this just as much as a Mickey Mouse. Where does Sonic fit on that spectrum? He's for kids, obviously. And I'm here playing this game on my freaking YouTube channel. So it's already reprehensible enough for me to be playing it. And it's reprehensible in me to, you know, be talking about this stuff. But in a weird sense, if I don't talk about it, you know, it's one of those things where kids kind of grow up not knowing what the freak these things are and questioning it in the future. Does there have to be some kind of weird thing where you gotta keep them safe in regards to the information that they're learning? Yeah, 100%. But still, at the same time, super important to make sure that they actually have control over the matter, and whatever provides them with the most freedom in their weird, well-controlled ways. Which, honestly, who knows? You know, it's up for grabs in this case. I'm trying to destroy this guy. I got like one ring and stuff. This is terrible, and he keeps knocking me out. But yeah, anybody remember when in Sonic Mania, oh well, not Sonic Mania, but more in the Sonic fan base in general, it's like the changing of voice actors, but Roger Craig Smith was supposed to be 20 years old. He was supposed to play a 20-year-old Sonic. Sonic, his age is really weirdly inconsistent. Like he's either sometimes 15 or his 20th anniversary. Now he's 20, guys. Just forget about all that mess. He's 20. Holy shit.